Hi there, my name is Kelly Cummins, and I'm going to be your instructor for patient care for this quarter. We have 10 weeks to get through all the material, and I hope you have a lot of fun with this. The skills and information you're going to learn in this class are going to be used by you every single day in clinical and throughout your career. So nothing in this class is something that you don't need to learn or that is just busy work. These are things you're going to be using multiple times every single day in your career and once you get into clinical, which is right around the corner. There were some questions on the books that we're using for this quarter. This one is Wilkins. Chapter 1 is due for week 1 to read in that book. There's questions at the end of each chapter in that book, and then in the back of your book in the appendix, there's an answer key for those. So those questions will never be an assignment that you will turn in and be graded on because you can check your own answers, but they're worth doing because you never know when I might put one of those on a quiz or a test because they are good practice questions. The other book that we'll be using as a textbook is Egan's. This is the 10th edition. There is an 11th edition available now, and you're more than welcome to purchase either one. The content in the books are very, very similar. They're almost identical. So the book I have obviously is the 10th edition, so if the page numbers don't seem to match up, it's just because of a different edition. So rely strongly on the content we are learning to find the correct chapter. For example, part of week 1 is on asepsis, and in Egan's, I believe it's called, it's chapter 4. I believe it's called Principles of Infection Prevention and Control. So use those titles to help you find the right page number if it doesn't seem to match with what I have. Lastly, you also should have a laboratory exercise book, and we'll be doing a lot of those exercises, and then you will need to demonstrate competency in some of those skills. For example, putting on personal protective equipment, or PPE. We call it donning and doffing PPE. So this book will have some of those skills for you, and we'll do some activities out of there as well. I will refer to this as your lab book. So I use Wilkins to describe this book, Egan's to describe the big book, and then if I'm talking about your lab book, that's the other one. All right, I'm going to hide my face here because I don't like to see myself, but I want to, oops, I can't minimize. Okay. I want to have us all take a look at the course in Moodle here together. So your page should look something like this. I'm in instructor's view, obviously, but it should look very similar. Hopefully you have already read the course information, the syllabus, done the course policy and syllabus agreement, and gone through your course information document. This has a timeline of all of our content. It's kind of an outline of the course, so that should be helpful. Procedure checkoff information. Originally, it was missing the peer checkoff sheet. I have fixed that. It's now available. So for each of the skills we will do, you will need to do your peer checkoffs with that. You'll need to do 20 of them. So you'll just write the name of the procedure right up here at the top. And if someone, if you post a video and someone watches it, they will give you feedback and a grade. You will not have to have their signature, but you will document the day and who it was who watched you do that procedure. And we'll work more on that as the course goes on. Back to the front page here, starting at week 1. So each week is very similar. I'll tell you what week it is and a kind of basically a general idea of what we're going to do in the week. And then here's a to-do list. This is fairly accurate. I did find some errors in it, or others have pointed some errors out, and I will try to make sure that that is up to date before we start each week. Here is our question answer discussion, and I'll put this below the to-do list for every week. So if you have any questions about the assignments or the activities or any of the content, this is where you'd want to post it. So you just click on this, and then you'd add a new discussion, and maybe you just says, when is it due, put a title in there, and then you could just say, when is the first check off due, or whatever your question might be, or maybe you want to tell us about your day, I don't know, but maybe you just want to share something with the class. This is where you could go and do that, and then you just click submit. I'm going to click cancel because I don't want anyone to think that that's a real question. All right, yes, I'm going to leave this page. Okay, back to our normal home page. I call this our home page, by the way. So for week 1, then we have our content and objectives. If you click on your objectives and reading assignment, it just is going to tell you that you can find the objectives on the PowerPoint, and that the reading assignments are found on the course timeline. And I try to have them up here as well. So there's really nothing for you to do for the objectives in reading. Preparing for the patient encounter, this is an actual PowerPoint with video and voiceover. So you can see here. Principles preparing for a patient. I'm not going to play that whole thing. That looks like that's about 27 minutes long. And Kathy Geyer is the voice you hear on that. She's one of the instructors in the program, and she normally teaches this class, but I'm teaching it this quarter. This right here, the Preparing for Patient Encounter notes, these are for you if you want them. By no means do you have to use them. All they are the PowerPoint slides. So if you wanted to print them off, you see what she's saying on each slide is printed out here for you. So if you're a visual learner, the notes pages might be more applicable to you. If you're an auditory learner, you might want to watch and listen to the PowerPoint. Either way, make sure you take some notes. And it does follow along with the reading pretty well, but there's never a good replacement for your reading. Asepsis PowerPoint. It's the same. It's another PowerPoint again, just like what we saw. Again, it is Kathy talking. And then here are the notes pages for that PowerPoint if you want them. You have 2 hand hygiene videos to watch. And so that's like, this is the content or the stuff you're going to be quizzed and tested over for week 1, quizzed over. Then next down here, you'll find your assignments and discussions. Now these are graded activities. You have your chapter 1 questions. I can open that up for you. You're going to watch a video in this assignment and then answer these questions. There are 4 different patient situations in the video, and so for each patient situation, you're going to answer all of these questions. To do this, you can, if you're like pen and paper, you can write this down on a piece of paper, take a picture of it, and upload it into the assignment tool. And here's where you add a submission. That's where you can upload something by clicking on that. Or if you want to type stuff out, if you're a typer, you can do it that way as well. Whatever works for you, I will accept your work any way you can get it to me. So that will be due by next Friday. Then we also have conversations, discussions. So this is a discussion. You won't be able to see what anybody else posts until you post, I believe. So it just says keep track of 5 conversations you've had with people in one day, and think about the use of space in these conversations. And so then you need to answer these questions about them. And it's just to get some discussion going about communication, because that's one of our topics for this week. We also have a critical thinking discussion. Again, you probably won't be able to see anybody else's answers until you post an answer. And in this situation, you're going to post your answer to one of the 3 patient situations. And with your post, you're going to provide at least 2 communication techniques. And that is something that was talked about in your book and in the PowerPoint for the week. So that will make more sense once you do that. So you're alerted that a new patient has been admitted to the floor when you are working, and the pulmonologist would like you to assess the patient and make a recommendation to him regarding what respiratory therapies you believe the patient needs while they are in the hospital. Assess the patient means you will look at their appearance, feel their wrist for a pulse, count their respirations, listen to air move in and out of their lungs, and evaluate their cough. So you don't really have to worry about doing the assessment, because the question here that you're going to answer is, how would you effectively communicate to someone who is deaf, blind, or speaks a foreign language and does not have an interpreter in order to let them know what you are doing and why you are doing it. So really, I've given you a little situation, and you have to identify how you're going to communicate with that person effectively based on the situation. So those are the assignments for this week, and they are due by next Friday at noon. Next, you see I have 2 self-assessments. When it says a self-assessment, that means it's not graded. These are activities where you have the answer key is included in the assignment. So here, it's a precaution signs activity. So if you click on that and open the document here, you can see what it looks like. And it's taking forever. Maybe it won't open today. There, no, oh, there it is. They always open weird. You always have to hit that view and then edit document. So here's the instructions on it. And then here's an example of the first one. And then you're going to fill in each of these. Once you're done with that, here's the answer key to it. So you can click on that and open it. I'm not going to do that right now. So you can do the activity yourself and then check your own work with the answer key. It's not graded, but that information is going to be on the quiz for week 1. So after you do those self-assessments, then here is quiz 1. It tells you that this quiz is covering Wilkins Chapter 1 and Egan's pages 50 through 55, as well as Chapter 4. Be sure you review the feedback on your graded activities before you attempt the quiz. There are a total of 14 questions, which are a combination of matching, multiple choice, and true-false. You have 35 minutes to complete this quiz. You get 1 attempt. It tells you when it's going to shut off, and it tells you your time limit. Mine says preview quiz because I'm an instructor, but yours would say like start now or something like that. So in a nutshell, that is our week 1, and the activities that are assigned and how you kind of navigate through the week. I think that's all I have to share with you for right now. I will probably make another short video on Monday, next Friday, reviewing over what we're going to do for week 2. If this video is something that's helpful for you, I will continue to do it. If this is not very helpful for you, then I won't bother doing these, but sometimes it's helpful to hear the assignments explained a little bit more, so I'm happy to do that. Alrighty, well, good luck everybody. Please do not hesitate to post questions in the question and answers for discussion 1. Also, feel free to email me, Moodle message me. I am easiest to reach by email or Moodle mail. I'm very hard to get on the phone because I'm not at my desk very much, and I'm in an open office, so it's very hard to hear in there. So again, welcome to the program. I hope you're all excited for this. This is a fun class, and like I said, you're going to use these skills every day, so we really want to work hard and be top-notch on these activities.